This is my second year after Quantum Coach Academy, and I think it's time for me to give you a review. I'm Brianna. I completed Quantum Coach Academy May 16th, 2024. It's currently October, and I felt like it's time for me to give an update on how things are going. You know, it's great right after, but what are the long-term results? I'm going to tell you about the long-term results. I'm going to tell you about what I've done in the interim to build a business. And then I'm also going to tell you what I think about Quantum Coach Academy now, this far after the fact. I decided to take the summer to figure out me and prepare to be able to run a business. You can see some of that on Brianna by Design on this channel, some of the things I did to get ready. I decided that October 1 would be when I was open for business. Promptly, someone referred me to this group of mom professionals at Washington University in the state that I live in to just like show up at one of their meetings. And this helps me to conceptualize what I need to structure my website as and my offer. So that was really helpful, but nothing came of it. But I just think it's really interesting that sometimes even the idea of a prospect or the idea of an engagement will help you to figure out what your business needs to be. So that's October. November, I worked with a client that I met at a conference that I had spoken at. She wanted to work with me, but for some reason I really dragged my feet. And by the time I got her the contract, she was like, well, now I have this other obligation. But she did pay me a little bit. I did 2 sessions with her. And honestly, I feel like I gave it all to her in those 2 sessions. And she got like a lot of transformation from that. But I was still kind of bummed because why didn't this work out? Why is nothing working out? In January, I had come up with all these plans like, okay, I'm going to do this New Year's thing and try to create this New Year's group. It's my niche. I always knew I wanted to work with codependency, but I really couldn't figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how to package it or in a way that I felt connected to. So I decided to do this workshop and I had one person sign up. I was kind of disappointed by that. So I went on TikTok and I was like on psychic lives and I asked a few psychics if there was a block. Like, is there an energetic block or why I can't make money? All of them said no. One of them talked about me not believing myself in different words. And one of them said, you need a third person that's either a partner or a coach. Shortly after that, I meet this woman who you join a coaching group on Facebook and they say, who needs this resource? And you sign up for their lead magnet. So she had been messaging me some and then she asked me if I want to do her 5-day challenge. So I do the challenge with her and I realized the reason I haven't made any progress is I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it was such a useful realization because when you're in it, you think, oh, especially coming out of Quantum Coach Academy, where it's like all very like all very, like about energy and miracle consciousness and feeling and stuff. And you feel like, okay, well, when it's time, it'll happen. But at some level, you have to have the technical skills to do what you're trying to do. And I didn't have that. So I referred about 6 people to her coaching program, or to at least to the challenge with her, because we really needed a perspective on where we were, which was we didn't know what we were doing. And I really needed somebody to tell me this is what your niche should be, or me talking about this is what I'm interested in, and her saying, okay, well, this is valid as a niche. I felt like we all needed that. I think 4 people ended up doing the thing with her. And on the 5th day of her thing, so she asked all these questions, and then by the end of it, you were making this post about, I have this lead magnet who wants it, and then you go and create the lead magnet. You don't say lead magnet, but that's how it worked. And on the 5th day, she also lets you know what it looks like to continue to work with her. This package was like $3,000, and the guarantee was if you don't have a 10K month within 6 months, she'll work with you until you do. So it was kind of like, how can I lose? And I was interested. I felt like she could help me, but after spending $9,000 on QCA, I was like, I cannot ask for any more money. I just simply cannot. And I was coming up with a plan. I was gonna ask my mom to loan me the money. Then a friend came over and I told her, I got these tarot cards after Christmas. Someone gave me these tarot cards randomly, but I don't know how to use them. And so she's like, okay, well, let's pull some cards about this coaching thing. Because she's really cheap and she did not want me to sign up for this program. I feel like it was either 3,000 or like 3,600. This coach is in London. So it was, the conversion's not exact like ours would be. Like we would make a program that's like 3,000, 3,500, 3,499, something like that. And so the reading was like, slow your roll. Well, she showed me to pull cards and ask ChatGPT to interpret them. So it was like, slow your roll, do more research. And that's what I did. I slowed down and I just tried to find more about her and her program, which I really didn't find. And as I'm making this video right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to name the program. I feel like I should because there's not much out there, but then I also don't want any smoke. Like she stole my Facebook. I'm not trying to get anybody upset at me. You can definitely message me if you want to know. But so I don't act. I just decide to move on and see what happens and see where the money comes from, because none of us come from my bank account. I'm definitely not gonna ask my husband. So like 3 or 4 weeks later, she says, I'm about to start the group. I want to make you another offer. So instead of the 3,000, it was 750. And I was like, oh, I can do that because I had that much. I had made a little money from the year before and that person that I worked with in November. So I signed up, 10 payments, $75. Cool, I'm ready to go. Get in the group. 2 of the women I referred from QCA were already in the group. And then after we got started, the 3rd one started. So there's 4 people from QCA in this group. I did not know what her plan was. So my first point of advice is if you're going to invest in a coaching program, you must understand what you're getting. Now, what did I understand about QCA? I heard Ashley talk about it on the Manifestation Bay podcast. I watched as many videos as I could watch. I knew what the breakdown of skills were. I guess I felt really informed, but still for $10,000, I feel like I was taking a risk. In this one, I knew that she had a strategy. I knew it helped me get out of my comfort zone, but I didn't know how she was going to do it. And I don't know what I thought she was going to do. I guess I thought it was just going to be more of what we did do. But instead, her strategy is based around Facebook mining. And this is not new. A lot of coaches do this. You have been the recipient of this, where someone's messaging, a random person adds you, and then you see that they're a coach or they're this, or someone messages you and just tries to chat you up. That's the same strategy. And I was like, I hate this. If I'd known we were going to do this, I would not have signed up. But I decided to push myself. I said, I don't know if I'm not willing to get outside my comfort zone or if this truly isn't for me, so I'm going to try. But I did it for the first week, which is adding a certain amount of people, engaging groups, messaging people, posting, of course. I did it for that week, and by Friday I was despondent because that is not for me. And I really don't know if that would ever be right for like a soul-led coach, because it's not a numbers game, it's an alignment game. But with that approach, it's a numbers game. So I decided quickly, this is not sustainable. I'm not going to be doing all this, but I will participate in the challenges, which would be like for a week. It would be different assignments for things to post. So I'm posting a lot more. I'm getting more comfortable sharing. And that's what I was really getting out of that. Back up to November, I went to get my hair done. I'm sitting waiting for my stylist, and she's on the phone. And I understand that someone's talking to her about a self-care expo. So when she gets off the phone, I asked her about it and then asked her to send me the information. I totally insert myself in this event. Okay, so it was a self-care expo. I emailed the person running it. She gets me included. It was scheduled for April. I felt like just like that potential of appearing at this professionals meeting back in October, the Expo gave me something to work toward, to think about how I should structure my business. Like if you have a deadline, which I think was April 6th, it was called Take Care Sis, then you have something to work backwards from. So that really helped. Now, the strategy for this business coach is you get people into your 5-day challenge, which is the same as her 5-day challenge, just modified to fit whatever your topic is. And so I had decided I was not going to do all that Facebook stuff, but I had this event April 6th. So this is like 2 months in or a month and a half in. I go to this event, I get 15 leads. I really wish I wanted to make a video about the event, but I just kind of lost steam. But if you are a coach and you ever go into an expo, it really worked well for me to have, I made these like playing cards and they had questions. So people would come up and I'd say, do you want to do a coaching question? They would pick a card out of I had 3 different categories, pick a card and then ask them the question. And then we had some conversation. It was very effective. And I also had a job form for them to sign up if they wanted to do the challenge with me. So I had 14 signups. And that was exciting, but it was kind of like, I thought I would have more. It was raining that day, so they didn't have the attendance they expected to have. Anyway, so then I reach out to the people. I do a few of the challenges, but because I wasn't discriminated enough in who I accepted, I really wasn't a good fit for most of the challenges, but I did get one. And that one prospect ended up becoming my one client. And she became my client and she referred like 10 people to me or something. She was, where other people were struggling with the Facebook, I had her. She gave me a bunch of referrals. They gave me referrals. I ended up sending her a gift because like her referrals were so good. And then, so that kind of like helped me not need to rely on the Facebook thing. And working with her was and is great. I'm still working with her. Now, as far as the group that I was in, all it was doing was getting me to post, but it couldn't support where I was trying to go. I was feeling more of a spiritual call. I was wanting to do more writing and use that as a tool. And the coach was just not really interested. When I had written a very popular blog on Substack, I talked to her that week because I was like, I can use this. And she was just like, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about a change in your brand. Okay, but ChatGPT is never going to really capture you. Like ChatGPT can inspire you, but it cannot create for you if you really are a creative, soul-led person. So I was turned off by that and I was thinking about quitting, but I didn't because I was chicken. And I just wanted to see what I could get out of it. Ultimately, I did quit because I just felt like she couldn't support me and the energy of the group was bringing me down. Since I only paid $750, I just paid her what I owed, which was like $356, or I guess $350, and that was that. Whereas other people, they had to pay more, and they can't just leave. That's why I want to stress, like before you get into these long-term contracts with high dollars, you need to know if this program is for you. It's not just a matter of, can you push yourself? Can you be committed enough? Because sometimes it just truly is not for you. And if you're soul-led because you are attracted to QCA or you came out of QCA, then it might not be for you. I don't think it was working for any of us. And I tried to empower the other QCA coaches to do it in the way that worked for them. But it seemed like they just wanted to try to like be better people so that they could do it in the way she said. And I just knew that was why they weren't getting anywhere. So the other things I was going to talk about. So that's the trajectory of all of those challenges I did. I only got one client, and most of that was because I wasn't still in the right place for me to sell effectively. I'm not a fake person, And I knew that with the me not discriminating and just I had people who I did a husband and wife, which was really cool for me. But I'm not a marriage counselor. Like I did them both separately, but the husband like needed help getting his stuff together. And that's not my niche. I could have done it, but it's not my niche. I have people starting businesses that wanted support. I had people dealing with codependency that didn't realize they were codependent. So I was never able to confidently sell or sell confidently enough, I think. I was definitely always confident about my offer, but I think there was always a disconnect, and that's why I didn't have success. Now, I will give a little bit of behind the scenes. In November, people started reaching out to me about how I felt about QCA. And the truth was and is, none of my friends had made any progress. None of them had businesses and still don't. I don't know anyone from QCA who's making that dream income or is that dream coach. And that's really hard to hear because QCA markets as, do you want to be a six-figure coach? Do you want your dream job or live the life of your dreams? But that's not what it sells. I do still think it delivers a very valuable product. I am an excellent coach. How well I can coach has never been an element of my journey because I know I'm an excellent coach. That's why the expo I did was so effective because I'm an excellent coach. That's what I got from QCA. QCA also changed my life. In October of last year, well, if you look at the Brianna by Design videos, you see I talk about being extremely happy, and I don't feel like that this year. My birthday was in October last year, and I remember feeling like I am happiness. I'm not just happy, I'm literally happiness. I don't feel like that this year, but one of the reasons I felt like that last year was because of QCA. I don't think it delivers what probably attracted you to it, which would be the results. I don't think it delivers those results, but I do still think it's very valuable. I don't regret it at all. Even at the price point, I do not regret it. It just was so good for me, so developing. But I'm still committed to the journey and I have the room to be. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I have the space to keep working because my income did not need to be a certain thing so that we could survive. I can do that, but I understand other people can't. And I think it's important that if that's you, you need to recognize that QCA is not going to get you in the place you probably want to be in 6 months unless you're already coaching. I think someone who's already coaching would probably see a big improvement. But if you're trying to start, QCA is not going to help you do that. QCA will help you be an excellent coach, but they don't help you identify your niche and start a business, which is, there are other means of doing that. But I think it really helps if you go into it knowing that you won't come out of it in a certain place, because that's why that yields disappointment. I truly haven't had anyone tell me they're disappointed except for one of my friends, but I also know that she can kind of like be in a negative space. So it doesn't surprise me that she felt like that. Other than that, no one says they wish they hadn't done it. One of my friends, I finally met one of my coaches, one of the peer coaches I had. I met her in June when I visited Chicago. It was really great to meet her and spend the day with her. And she said she didn't really see herself doing coaching, but she had never said that before, and she never expressed any regret for QCA. She just said she felt like that wasn't for her. Coaching wasn't for her. I think in some ways, some of the trainings you do can contribute to your development as a person, as opposed to giving like whatever the intended product of that being the main benefit. As far as the coaching group I joined for 2025, the benefit for that for me was definitely getting myself out of my comfort zone, pushing past that discomfort, getting used to posting online, and also seeing how to cultivate businesses. While I wouldn't do it the way she did it, I still understand like the titration you have to do and the funneling and nurturing. I understand that. And so I appreciate her for that. Like, I think it was worth the $750, not more. I don't think that if I stayed in it, I would have gotten what I needed because I was being moved toward a more spiritual path. So in July 2025, I wrote this essay, Codependency Ruined Christianity for Me. And the response was so massive that it really validated that this is the direction you need to go. So that's what knowing that I needed to write that is what helped me quit, because I knew that coach would never be able to support the trajectory of that work. Um, and so that's where I am now. I'm still trying to figure out, what does this look like? I'm still cultivating this identity as a coach in the space of deconstruction as well as codependency, which honestly, the codependency piece just came to me this week. It's a very soul-led, spirit-led process, which is fine. I still get very anxious about earning money, and that just is what it is. But overall, I do still recommend QCA. I do still think that is great, but you need to be clear about what the outcome will likely be. If you're interested in doing QCA, please use my referral code. I've referred one person last year, and so it's not much of an income, but it really is nice. The referral code will be in the description. Please message me on Instagram. Weldoncoaching is what it currently is. On TikTok, I think I'm about to change my TikTok name. So in September, I decided to make TikTok content because making the content is helping me cultivate my message. You must know your message. They say you can be a generalist as a life coach, but I just don't think you can. I think you still need to have a message if you don't have a niche. Like, you still need to have a message, a theme, and then you can apply that to various areas until you decide what your niche is. But if you don't know specifically what you're talking about, who you're talking to, it's going to be really hard to build something. And I'm still trying to figure that out. And I have the space too, so I'm not going to give up yet, although I truly have wanted to. I hope this review was helpful, and please leave me any comments or questions you have in the comments. QCA, I don't know how much has changed, but if you're feeling called to it, it's probably for you. I do think that without QCA, I don't know how I would have gotten to this place. I needed to make that big investment in myself at that price point. I think if it was just like with this one, the coaching program I did this year was $750. I was able to quit. If it was $5,000, I would not have quit. I would have made it work. And I think it was important that I was fully bought into QCA so that I could get the full transformation that I needed. All right, you guys, see you soon. I'm looking forward to hearing from you in the comments.